Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Tuesday, the 17th of December 2019. Thanks for joining me. I'm using the Robin Wood Tarot for today's reading. Let's have a look at what Tuesday the 17th is about. So I'm just closing my eyes and tuning in to get a sense of the energy of the day. And then the cards are going to answer. So let's have a look. We have death, always a good sign. Then we have the Two of Cups. Okay, interesting. We had the Lovers the other day. And then we have the Three of Cups in reverse. Right, so what does this mean? Death is the 13th card of the major arcana. It represents an ending. Very rarely does it represent physical death. I think in 20, 30, 25, 30 years of reading the tarot, I've had two instances where it meant actually imminent death sort of thing. Death is, as you can see, cloaked in this red robe. This deck, the Robin Wood Tarot, is the only tarot that looks at death from that perspective. Red is the color of blood, so violence. It's also passion, anger, aggression. It's also life purpose and desire and what you really truly want to do. Then we have this white rose behind him, and that's spirit, that's purity, and that's returning to source. Death is simply a facilitator who cuts. Usually has a scythe with him. He is just waving this big white rose flag, kind of saying, I come in peace, but also, black frames around it. This isn't going to be pleasant sort of thing. But we also have the symbol of transformation here, the butterfly. From a little cocoon comes this beautiful butterfly. So the inference is that if you allow yourself to give up what you're so passionate about and what you think you love so much, and you balance it out with what reason and your gut tells you, you'll be able to transform something that's currently not working, and you're able to turn it into something beautiful and wonderful and amazing. So you put an end to one thing that doesn't work for you, and by putting an end to it, you create a vacuum, and nature doesn't like a vacuum, so it immediately pulls in love, romance, healing energy, strength, courage, freedom to replace the energy that you've lost, the negative stuff that you're saying, okay, enough of this, I don't want this anymore. I found that the only way I can get rid of feelings like that is by meditating and praying. You can always take something for it, but that doesn't lead anywhere happy. Because if you drink or smoke or take a pill to turn feelings off when you want them, then it builds and builds and builds, and then one day, boom, and you have all the feelings in one, and then it's a big disaster, and often people don't survive that big disaster. So it's better to be in touch with your feelings and with spirit, and to accept that this is one of the processes of life that you just can't avoid. It's not up to you when you're going to die. It's death. The universe decides when you leave. It's one of the miracles that happens. So we're not talking about actual death. We're talking about the death of negative things that are then replaced by either a loving, fun relationship that heals and nurtures. That can be you and a friend, you and your cousin, you and your romantic partner. It can be, I don't know, he's on a male retreat, she's on a female retreat, and they're meeting for a picnic, I don't know, and they're sharing cups. We've got the caduceus there, which is the medical symbol of healing. The Hippocratic Oath, first do no harm. So they're not doing any harm to each other. They're healing each other, and they're giving each other courage and strength and freedom and the ability to feel like they can do anything they like. They've got wings. You can just take off and fly. The Three of Cups, this way around, you can see these three girls partying and having fun and living their best life. That's what the card means. It's about enjoying the abundance that you've got, having fun, dancing around, and just spending time enjoying yourself. We've still got the Three, which is new beginnings and the way you think. That's still there, but it's not about fun and friendliness and, oh, we're going to do something differently here just for the sake of it. This is much more like we have now decided to make some space in ourselves because of this card, and we're not going to replace it with frivolousness. We're not going to replace it with something ridiculous, like, for instance, pouring a bottle of vodka onto your problems. You know, your problems swim. Because a lot of people don't know what to do with themselves when something negative happens, or when there is a change, or when there's proof to them suddenly in their lives that, oh, I can't do this anymore. This doesn't work for me anymore. It's like, what do I do now? I think whether you're in recovery or whether you're 18 or 80, I think we've all had that experience, I think, of not knowing what to do with ourselves. And that's the key word in there, the self. The self is compromised, so how do you move forward? And the best way to move forward is not by frivolously going to Glastonbury Festival and dancing around and dancing your problems away. It's by facing yourself, allowing yourself to transform into something better. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with me, but we do all have the potential to improve. I mean, I think with most human beings, there's room for improvement. And I think that's part of the reason why we're here. And the good news is that today, the vacuum brings you all of these loving energies because this card is in the center. Imagine if we had the Tower here. Then, you know, that sense of finishing something, coming to terms, would be catastrophized by the Tower, and you'd feel all alone and desperate. Whereas this day, you end something, you feel in control of it. I'm running my life, I'm making decisions, I'm letting the scythe come down when I say it comes down. I am death, in a way. I decide when things have life and when they do not. So you finish something that has not been positive for you. It's filled by something much more positive, and it's got nothing to do with friendship or having fun or being spontaneous in the moment and looking at the short term. That fruit will spoil. Sooner or later, it's going to start raining or it'll get dark. This is a temporary situation. And instead of something flimsy like that, you get something that is more consistent. But also you'll notice it's the Two of Cups. It's not the Lovers. The Lovers would say, this is the day for your soulmate to arrive and to really let that go. And because you do such good work on yourself, your true love, if we see true love as a reward for virtue of any kind, then love would be this life partner who comes into your life and fills that gap. But today it's the Two of Cups, which is temporary. So you have a temporary fix, you have a temporary healing. One of your issues falls away, or you get a daily reprieve from it, or you're able to communicate with someone who you really like today. And because you do that, you change your mind about certain things. It comes about in the conversation that you've been thinking about horse racing in a certain way. It's cruel to the animals, and you meet with this person as a jockey, And he tells you all the stories about how he loves his horses and how the horses love to run and all of that stuff. And then you may go away from that thinking, oh, actually, it's not so bad. And then you make space in yourself again because your view of horse racing, for example, is nullified through that conversation. And that's the way you create death for your negative point of view, for example. So that's what the opportunity is. And change is never easy. Most of us resist it, especially in astrology. Earth signs are not happy about changes, especially personal changes, because it's like the only thing I can be certain of is my identity. And if that is pulled out from under me, then what do I have left then? What you have left then is you as a perfect spiritual being. You don't need to put layers and layers on top of that. You're perfect and fine without anything put on top of you. You don't need accessories to reach some sort of inner view of what perfection is. It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Numerology wise, we've got 13 and 2, that's 15. And 3 is 18, 1 and 8 is 9, and 9 is about spirituality and completion. So the numbers repeat themselves, really. Something is completed and comes to an end. That begins something new, and it's not something trite or unimportant. It's something really meaningful that can heal and can give you wings and gives you real strength and courage. So I hope you have a wonderful day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via the website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, just click on the button to order a personal reading with me. In my personal readings, I use the tarot, I use astrology, and I use numerology as well as my intuition. In my personal readings, I can answer any questions you have, so please do get in touch via the website. If you like this video, then please click the subscribe button and share the video online. That'd be awesome. And I wish you a marvelous Tuesday, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.